Talkin' Sex Live is recorded in front of a live audience. This show is for mature listeners only. Hello, you're Talkin' Sex Live with Chet and Diane. I'm Diane.
And I am Chet, and we are an unlicensed sex therapist couple that we haven't gotten any type of training for our knowledge here. We are just a couple who's had a whole lot of sex, and we want to share our knowledge with the world. We are streaming right now to YouTube, streaming right now to Twitch, but recording for YouTube and also for podcast. How are you doing tonight, Diane?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I am. Well, we are doing great. We are joined by our producer, as always, our wonderful friend, Wells Starnacki. How are you doing tonight, Wells?
Hi, everyone. I am a little perturbed by what happened yesterday.
Oh, yes.
And I think we all feel bad about that on that show, since we care so much about sex positivity and women's autonomy over their own body. So
that is right.
Wells is a little perturbed.
Yeah, I'm sorry you're feeling so bad. We will get into that, though. We're going to talk more about Roe v. Wade getting overturned. But we're going to just catch up a little bit, because this show's lighthearted. We're fun. We like to think it's a comedy show that promotes sex positivity, and so we like to keep things happy. But also, this is a very serious topic, and we'll go ahead and cover it. But a couple things that we wanted to talk about today. It's super hot, and so we had a good naked day. We have these every once in a while where we just lay in bed naked, and we may just have sex several times. How many times did we do it today, Diane?
3
times? Yeah, I mean, they last a long time, so it feels great. But it was, I mean, it's hot. Just, our bedroom's the coldest room in our house, and so we just close the doors and turn on a fan and just lay around naked. And it's hard to resist Diane's super hot body. Also, I had a conversation earlier with Diane this week about, and we posted this on our Twitter feed, that I believe the majority of men, this is a little gross, but they, and Diane wanted me to bring it up on the show, that men stand up when they wipe their butt. It's something that I don't think a lot of females know about, but I've talked about this in the past. I was in a car accident. I broke my pelvis in 2 places, and I had to I stood up to wipe my ass up until that point, and then I figured out how to actually sit down to wipe, like most women do. And I feel that men are at a young age, they're never taught how to actually sit down and wipe. Your parents come in, they wipe your butt, and then you basically they continue to stand up to wipe, and they never are officially taught how to sit down and wipe. Sounds really gross, but Wells, what's your thought on this?
I didn't know anyone did that.
Sit down or stood up to wipe?
I didn't know anyone stayed seated.
Oh yeah, see, are you a stander and wiper?
The geometry of that just sounds odd to me.
Yeah, exactly. So I think most females think that all guys
that's
stay
what I would have
seated
thought.
to wipe, but like I was saying, I trained myself to sit and wipe. But going into the bathroom stalls, you see people's feet stand up and they turn around with their pants around their ankles, and you're just like, oh, there's a stander and wiper. But don't be ashamed, men. It's not a big deal. It is easier to get in there, and a whole lot harder to get your hand down like in the little crack between your ass cheek and the toilet seat. But I did a little poll, and it was about 50-50, and that means that half women, half men, and but we'll transition very smoothly and elegantly to our sex news topic. And so, sex news, here we go. Our first topic that we are going to talk about is, of course, the Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade, and this is something that affects, I don't know. I feel like everybody in the country either has one opinion or another. I mean, I guess there are some people that are like, meh, whatever. But I feel that there are many, many people that have a strong opinion going either way. And Diane, what's your thoughts on this? You're the female here. You're the one who should have the most. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, women all over the U.S. are extremely pissed off because I mean, it. Yeah, go ahead. I'll just shut up.
I was gonna say they should have the right to choose what they will do with their own bodies.
Yeah, and that's what's a
But
lot
I
of women.
also don't think you should wait till the fetus is like however many so long, and it's
After the second trimester before
yeah,
you
and it's
abort.
like unless there's something wrong with it, then
Yeah,
by all
or
means.
it's becoming a threat to the
So,
mother.
yeah, then I would say yeah.
But that's your choice, and that's the point. It's pro-choice. You're choosing to have an abortion. No one's forcing you to have an abortion. So people who are choosing not to have an abortion are trying to force women who need to have an abortion for one reason or another to not have an abortion. It could be life-threatening. It could be life-changing, something that they cannot handle. And it really it hurts me. It really pisses me off because a lot of Christians, or I put air quotes around Christians because I don't feel that they're Christ-like, and that is the literal definition of a Christian is someone who is Christ-like. But so a Christian is the main philosophy of Christianity is to love your neighbor as yourself and love your Lord God with all your heart and soul. But so often now Christians will go ahead and look through the Bible and try and find one term.
Well, then they'll just blow it out of context.
Yeah, completely take it out of context. And then they'll go ahead and forget the main message of love your neighbor as yourself, and that's it. So the one Bible verse that a lot of Christians are hanging on to right now is in Psalms. It talks about how God, like molds.
I have it here, Chet, if you want.
Go for it, Wells.
This is the one that's quoted a lot. Psalms 139, 13 through 16. For you created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in the secret place, when I was woven together in the depths of the earth. Your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be.
Got it. So let's talk about Psalms. It is a book of poetry written mostly by King David, but there's some debate that it wasn't written all by him. But it is written as a book of poetry, and people are taking this book of poetry and taking it way out of context. In fact, there's other Bible passages in the Old Testament that say they give instructions how to abort. If a woman is raped, that there's ways that priests can make a woman actually have a miscarriage, and it lays out instructions for that. God also used very vengeful in the Old Testament and talked about how he would rip out unborn children from women's wombs. A lot of that stuff. So abortion is actually talked about a lot in the Old Testament, but not in don't abort, it's God aborting babies. So also, Jesus never mentions anything about abortion. All he said was, love one another as I have loved you. So what gets me is you're put these women in states that can't get abortions now because of Roe v. Wade being overturned. They now can't go. Some of these women who are under privileged,
they can't afford to
they can't afford to go otherwhere. I can guarantee you that these Christians, like their friends, whoever wants an abortion, because some of them are hypocrites and they will do it anyways, and they will go ahead and get abortions because they can afford it. So what puts is these people who are in poverty, mostly people of color, which is very sad and unfortunate, but they cannot get an abortion when they economically or need to. And so what happens is they're putting these people who are pro-choice are putting a burden on those people so that their lives are now horrible. Or if they are raped and they have to carry this child around with them and they have to live with that, or if they are a victim of incest and they have to carry that child around and they have to live with that, that is not loving your neighbor as yourself. That is, I feel that is not a Christian value to tell those people that they have to do this. It's a choice. It's a pro-choice. It's not pro-abortion.
Yeah, if they don't want an abortion, then don't get an abortion for yourself.
Yeah, no one's forcing them to get an abortion. So, and it's also this law is it allows other states to get abortion. So it's like I don't understand why it's like some huge victory for these Christians, because it's just putting a huge burden on millions of people and it's not deterring anything. Abortions are still going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, they did illegal abortions back in like the 30s.
Yeah, and it's very unsafe, and the death rate from abortion skyrockets. So that is my 2 cents. Wells, what are your 2 cents?
Since you started with the Bible, I guess I will as well. All of the verses that are used by pro-life people don't actually pertain to abortion. We talked about the one in Psalms that says that God knew the author before he was born and ordained all of his days. That does not say that God ordained every embryo and fertilized egg to be born, and God ordained the days of every cluster of cells. There actually is no verse in the Bible that's pro-life, and there are actually several that seem to indicate that a fetus is not a person, including one that pro-life people often cite in Numbers, which is about if a woman's been unfaithful to her husband, the test that they do is they have her drink this gross water, and if she loses the fetus, then it's assumed that she's guilty of abortion. If that's true, if that was God's attitude.
I think that's what he meant, infidelity.
What did I say on
guilty
whatever.
Of abortion? Yeah, we understand.
No, guilty of infidelity.
Yeah.
If she's guilty of infidelity, then she'd lose the fetus. That seems to indicate the fetus is not a person.
Yeah, exactly.
And it does not have a right to personhood. And yet I went on this pro-life website right now and they cited this Bible verse. All of the sort of pro-life Christians, their exegesis is very lazy. Yeah. Also, I'll just talk, since you covered a lot of things, I'll just talk about the women's health aspect of it, which is I looked up ectopic pregnancies, which is where the baby grows basically in a place in the body where it's not supposed to.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, the outside.
Yeah, very dangerous.
Very dangerous. It's in about 2% of pregnancies, which would be about 100,000 in the U.S. every year. If it's not treated, if the fetus is not terminated, then it leads to severe bleeding and it can lead to death. So women will die in these states because they can't get abortions for fetuses that wouldn't have survived anyway.
Yeah.
There's also about 15% of pregnancies also end in miscarriage. There's certain instances where if a woman has a miscarriage, she needs to have an abortion.
Yeah,
otherwise
gets stuck,
the
basically.
fetus is going to kill her.
Yeah.
So women are going to die about this.
Yeah.
Because of this. I really think that for a lot of people who have only been raised in super conservative religious places, they don't understand any of this.
No,
they don't understand the real world consequences for outlawing abortion and for being anti-choice. And I hope that the movement to reinstate abortion rights is just as ferocious, if not more so, than the 50-year movement to try to get rid of it.
Well, I feel like what's going to happen is, if this stays in place, people just are going to, hopefully they'll learn the hard way. Like it's sad to say, but these states where they are outlawing abortion, they're already like the poorest states. They have the lowest graduation rate. They have poor children health care, poor, like across the board, just like anything involving children and graduation and economic situation, GDP, all that stuff. It is the lowest. And so if you have people in low economic states who can't get abortions and they're introducing children into the exact same state, it's just this. And I hate using the word class, but they're not going to be able to get out of this class, out of this poverty.
That's
And
exactly why they want it. They want to trap
Exactly.
these people into a forever cycle of poverty
Yeah.
so that they can't, there's no upward mobility. And they know that it's going to affect women of color more than white women. It's another reason why they want it.
Yeah. And for the people who actually have, this malicious idea, they are manipulating and gaslighting their constituents and people who follow them and telling them it's all because of the Bible. But in people who just don't know very much or don't know better just believe them, and they get stuck in this trap of always it's like they can never break free. I don't know, it's so upsetting in so many levels. But I guess time will tell what happens next. The only real solution that I can say is just vote. If you disagree with this, vote for candidates who are against the pro-choice, or not pro-choice, sorry. The anti-choice is what I was trying to say. Vote for candidates who are pro-choice and who are against anti-choice and want to preserve Roe v. Wade and put them in office. And the hope is that they could make a law that says abortion is the law of the land. But another thing that to fear of is it is a possibility that if Republicans gain control of the House, the Senate, and the presidency, they could just eliminate the filibuster so that there's a 50 vote limit in the Senate to actually put into law that abortion is illegal across the U.S. That is a possibility, and it is a big possibility that could happen. And so if you don't want that to happen, then even if you don't really care about politics, go register to vote and vote for someone who is pro-choice. And from all aspects of your voting agenda, from your gubernatorial race to your state representatives, state senators, your U.S. House of Representatives candidate, your state, the state senators going to the U.S. Senate there, or sorry, U.S. senators across the board. That is, and that's the only way is we have a voice that we can go ahead and talk about. You can express your opinion here in this country. We have some small shred of democracy that we can still go ahead and talk about, or we can share our voice here. I rambled on a little bit too long about all that, and I could tell Diane was getting upset, uneasy. We're going to talk about one more sex news before we take any more callers. So go ahead, Diane.
Drug to increase women's sex drive wins FDA approval.
So this is a new drug. It's like an EpiPen. So the thing about, there's our graphic for the Roe v. Wade. I got so passionate about it. Here is a graphic for the, nope, that's not the right one. There it is. So this woman, it looks like Megan Fox, super hot. She looks like she's super horny. But so it is called Vyleesi. Vyleesi sounds like something from Game of Thrones, like Khaleesi.
Oh yeah.
But Vyleesi.
Get your Khaleesi on.
Get your
with
Khaleesi, yeah. Come have sex with Khaleesi, with Vyleesi. So it's a drug called brimonidine, and so this brimonidine actually it acts as like a supercharged it's not an antidepressant, but it affects a woman's chemistry. So for a man, if he's going to go ahead and want to combat erectile dysfunction, he will take Viagra or other type like Cialis, which are actually they're blood pressure medication, so it lowers your blood pressure. And so, like Viagra, when they were testing it, it was intended to lower blood pressure, and then they found that a side effect was erections. And so that became Viagra, is something to help with erectile dysfunction disorder. But for women, it's a little different. Of course, their parts don't have the same. Vaginas don't need to be erect. It's all chemical. It's all in the brain. We've always talked about this. Diane's talked about this many times. That it's all about how you. Go ahead, Diane. You can talk about
psychological.
This. Yeah, it's all
mental.
Mm-hmm.
You got to turn yourself on first.
Yeah, you got to be in the right headspace. Mm-hmm. You got to be focused. You got to be relaxed at the same time. You know, everything that happened in the day is a huge effect on how you feel. A guy, like, I can just get super horny just by watching Diane walk by with like a parka on, and I can just pull out my penis, even if it's limp, a couple slaps and a couple tugs, and then all of a sudden it's hard.
Or just in the shower, you're cleaning yourself.
Yeah, I'm cleaning myself. It's like,
might
as well just jerk off. Yeah, jinx, sorry. So that happens, but for a female, it's a completely I don't know, like a hypnotic type of experience that you have to get yourself in. It's a frame of mind.
Yeah, it's more mental.
Completely mental. So this drug, it's like an EpiPen that you can inject yourself with. It's like super instant, and it helps with the brain chemistry. I guess it didn't really explain too much about the actual chemistry of it. Like I can imagine serotonin levels or testosterone levels are probably skyrocketing with this, but it's mainly for hyposexual disorder. So women who can't really get aroused. This is there's hypersexual, people who are oversexual. Hyposexual means that it's very difficult for you to get aroused. So for those type of women, this is help for being intimate with a partner. Helping conceive children is another big thing.
Give me my EpiPen.
Yeah.
Let's go.
It's not exactly for dudes who are horny and they just want their wife to be horny as well. So I think
there's a bug in the bed.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you have to go to a doctor for this, and they have to diagnose you with hyposexual desire disorder, and then you're going to go ahead and you'll get this EpiPen for this drug here. So we're going to end that with sex news. I know we got a little passionate about that, but thanks for bearing with us here. If you have any of your own thoughts on Roe v. Wade or any of this, feel free to put it in the chat. Wells, do we have any callers coming in?
We do. We have Eunice, and she has a question about incontinence during sexual... Incontinence during sexual intercourse.
Okay.
Hello, you're talking Sex Live with Chet and Diane. I'm Diane.
And I am Chet. Is this
Eunice?
Yes, it is. Hi, Chet and Diane. How are you?
We're doing good.
Doing great, Eunice. Thanks for calling in. So we understand that you got a little incontinence when you're having intercourse. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct. I'm a lady of a certain age, but I still have a fantastic active sex life.
Mm-hmm. But most elderly people do, yes.
Yes, and I'm finding that when I have sex for a few minutes with my partners, that my bladder is emptying, and it's quite a lot of urine that's being released, and currently, I am mostly having sex with multiple anonymous partners, and
at the same time, or just on a different night.
No. I'm not that spicy.
Okay.
But yes. So what I've been doing to sort of counteract that is leading them to believe that I am actually a squirter, and that is feminine ejaculate, and it works sometimes. I think sometimes they believe me, but I'm thinking sometimes they realize it's not. And
Got it.
this pandemic has made me feel a little lonely, and
Mm-hmm.
I would like to have a long-term partner, and
Mm-hmm.
I realize this isn't something that I can, pull over the wool over their eyes on. So
Mm-hmm.
I just would love some help on, I don't know, maybe positions that would help not have as much leakage or anything
Ooh.
in your
Oh.
wisdom you might have to help.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Have you tried Kegel
Yeah.
exercises?
Mm-hmm.
I have, dear. I've tried the exercises. I've tried the little balls that you put inside and you squeeze, and it just
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
it's to help. It seems to tighten things up a little, but when the friction starts happening, it's just
Oh,
it
the
Oh, yes,
releases.
sensation.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
You can also put down like a towel before you
Yeah.
guys get busy.
I mean, is it a lot of urine or is it just like a little
It's a
squirt
lot.
here and there?
It's
Okay.
a lot of
Hmm.
urine. It's a lot of urine, and I do try to not have as much
Liquid.
liquids
Mm-hmm.
beforehand. But a lot of times you're out, you're having drinks,
Mm-hmm.
things get flowing, and you can't always
Mm-hmm.
restrict that as
Got
much as
it.
you'd like.
Got
So
it.
yeah.
So have you tried just to like flat out just empty your bladder before, or just like sit on the toilet for a good 15, 20 minutes before you start up? Or is it more just like you're in the moment, you can't just get away? A lot of gay men, if like they are about to go at it, you know what, you have to douche. That's just a reality of it. Something that a lot of TV shows and movies don't really get into. That once if gay men want to have anal sex, you gotta clear everything out of there. Same thing maybe for you. If it's like you start to get intimate, you're just like, hold up, you know what? I just have to use the bathroom, or just I gotta freshen up. I gotta powder the nose, something like that. Guys don't know what you're doing in the bathroom. We just
Yeah.
think you go in the bathroom and you just gossip, or you
Hmm.
do your makeup. I don't
Yeah.
know. It could be a number of things, and just go in and I don't know, try to relieve yourself. Have you tried to do that at all?
I do relieve myself beforehand, and it's almost like when you go to the dentist,
Mm-hmm.
you normally don't realize there's any saliva in your mouth, and then as soon as you go there, it's like you've got a pool of saliva in your mouth.
Okay.
It's almost like that.
Got it.
Like
Yeah, yeah. It's just
like
a
but I
sensation.
feel like, oh, my bladder's empty. It's
Mm-hmm.
totally empty, and then the
Mm-hmm.
pounding starts, and all of a
Hmm.
sudden it's Niagara Falls down
It
there.
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's a couple other things that you could do. I'm assuming some of the men that you're with are around your same age, or are they older, or
Oh, it's all over.
okay.
It's a wide. Yeah.
Hmm. I was just saying, if they are an older age, maybe their eyes aren't the best, and you can get away with the
Oh,
squirting. Um,
yeah.
Also, have you ever heard of FetLife?
No.
Okay, FetLife
It's
is it's like a dating app, but it's if for kind of the fetish world. So there are people out there who have certain fetishes, and uh, a urine fetish is actually one of them. People like to be urinated on, both men and
oh.
women. And so if you, and also there are younger men who are also, it's a king for them to be with older women. And so maybe you can find both. You get on FetLife and you look up men who are into urine play. I think there's a fetish name for it. Wells, do you want to look up the name for the fetish for a urine fetish
Yeah.
or urine kink? And also just for men who are into older women.
Orolognia.
What is it called?
Urolognia.
Urolognia. Also,
Yeah.
what's the fetish for a man who's attracted to a much older woman? I've heard of this one. I just can't remember it. But
Aniliolognia.
oh, aniliolognia. So, if,
Oh.
if you can remember those or write those terms down, or just look them up on your own if you are savvy with the internet and can do
Oh
searches,
yeah.
then you can go ahead and look that up, and then put on get in FetLife, and hopefully you'll get some people who are into that as well. Where do you mind if I ask where you're located at, or if you want to just give a general area or what state, or
Oh yeah. I'm down in Long Beach.
Long Beach, California, or
California.
Washington would be a little different, but California. Oh yes. Long Beach, California is actually the second largest city in LA County, also the largest city in the country that's not a county seat. If you can wrap your brain around that, it's actually larger than Atlanta, Georgia. But anyways, it's a big city and it's also neighbors to LA. So you can probably find quite a few people who are really into urine play.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought I had a problem, but I'm almost sitting on a gold mine here.
Mm-hmm. To somebody out
Fantastic.
there, there's people for everyone. So a lot of people out there, they think that, oh, people won't like me for X, Y, and Z. And I can guarantee you there's a lot of people who will like you for X, Y, and Z. You just got to find them. And so different websites like FetLife or others. Wells, is there anything else that's like FetLife that you know of that you can find or? No.
Well, she could also see if someone is into omorashi,
Oh.
which is it's a Japanese term. It has to do with people who experience sexual attraction at the thought of someone having a full bladder
Oh, very
or
nice.
having to urinate. Yeah.
Mm. That's
You
another
could
term
also
that you can
check into
search for.
that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And hopefully, I mean, you'll be able to go ahead and I don't know, yeah, actually find somebody that will be into that.
And I
I
can
don't.
just go to this FetLife like it's a home shopping network and find these people who
I don't.
want
Have you
this.
ever been on any website like dating apps where it's you have to, if you have a cell phone, then you can go ahead and add it. I think it's an app. I'm not. We're not on FetLife. I haven't been on any dating apps in a long time. But Wells, how about you? Are you on FetLife?
I have not tried
No.
FetLife.
Yeah,
I
he's
am
a
curious now, so
yeah.
maybe I'll make an account.
Hmm. So it like most dating webs or apps, you have to like it comes up and people message you and you can view profiles and whatnot and you can swipe left and right and stuff or like somebody and then they like you back and it's a match and then you start messaging people and stuff. It's yeah, or even just like OK Cupid, you could say something like I'm into urine play, something like that. OK Cupid kind of covers everything and it's free, so people of all types kind of get onto that dating app or website there. So, but I really hope that you have some good luck with that. I hope we
Oh,
pointed
me
you in the right
too.
direction there. Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I can't tell you how grateful I am. It's
Oh, perfect.
fantastic.
Eunice,
I,
you
I, I
sound
thought there was
delightful.
something wrong with me, but apparently not.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you
Perfect.
so much.
No problem, Eunice. Well, I hope you have a good night, and please stay sex positive, and I hope you're happy out there. Also, keep it safe, sane, and consensual.
I will. Thank you so much.
No problem. Wells, have you ever had intercourse with anyone who happened to urinate a lot
Or squirt.
or squirt?
Like during intercourse?
Yeah, or just yeah. Have you ever? I don't know. For me,
I've been with women who urinated a lot after intercourse.
yeah, and that's recommended. If you are after sex, you should, especially if you're female, you should urinate because it helps prevent STIs, just different, bacteria from the penis getting in your urinary tract, and it can cause a UTI. And so you should actually go pee afterwards. But for me, like I don't think I could pee even if I wanted to. I had a condom on and I was like, I wonder if I could pee with this thing on and blow it up like a balloon. I just couldn't do it. I don't know. Have you ever tried that, Wells? Like put on a condom and see if you could pee?
Well, it's hard to pee with an erection.
That is true. You have to
That's
do like well, it has to be
thing.
sitting straight up. You can't there's many times where I've had an erection and just been like, well, I'm gonna try to pee, and you have to point it like straight down, and it literally pinches the urethra, so it won't come out. But you can if it's standing straight up, it will come out the top
So
there.
if you have a boner, it's like,
Well,
how's that gonna?
I don't know how it works, but it's literally like you have an erection, And if you need to pee and you point it down so that it bends the erection, I'm not speaking from any type of medical standpoint, but it feels like it's pinching the urethra and no pee comes out. But if it goes up, pee will come out. And so you have to kind of do like this weird headstand thing while you're over the toilet. And I'm talking about this when, morning wood, I wake up and I look at you and I have a huge boner, and then I go into the bathroom to pee, and then you have to do some maneuvering.
I'll have to watch you next time.
Oh yeah,
and see
well
how
I'll
this
wake you up. I'll wake you up out of
happens.
bed. I'll bring you into the bathroom. I'm like, look, this is how you pee when you have a boner. And you're like, do you do that, Wells? Or do you like do like a partial headstand to pee while you have
Yeah,
a
you
erection?
have to kind of, I don't know about headstand, but you
Well,
have to
I'm just
adjust yourself
exaggerating. Yeah.
a certain way to get the process started.
Mm-hmm.
Because thankfully the body is designed where if you have an erection, it's difficult to urinate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know much how for females. Diane, have you ever peed or urinated while you're having sex? I know with
No.
me it hasn't
No.
happened, so.
Can't say that I have.
There's one thing I want to say is that I've talked about this before, and I talked about this earlier in the show. I was in a pretty awful car accident when I was young age, and it actually damaged my urethra. And so when I try to pee when I have an erection, it aggravates that injury. It's weird. I can't explain it. It's like it's a weird burning sensation.
Oh God.
Yeah, it
That's
is.
pretty
It is
bad.
awful. But every once in a while, when we have a lot of sex, like in that the head of my penis
Oh,
gets
yeah, it gets
smashed too much,
Yeah.
it can aggravate it, and then it hurts for a few days.
Should have got more money from your.
I know I should have, but oh well, I was young. But
Yeah.
anyways, well, that's a great transition right there, talking about damaged urethras. Wells,
Fun stuff.
do we have another caller?
We do. This is Tyler. He's not sure how to tell his wife that sometimes he's not in the mood.
Oh, interesting. Tyler, you are talking Sex Live with Chet and Diane. I am Chet.
And I'm Diane.
And so you...
Hi, Chet. Hi, Diane.
Hey. So it sounds like your wife wants to have a lot of sex, but you really don't. Is that correct?
Yeah, sorry. May I start with, I love my wife very much.
Okay, no, I'm
And
not
I
saying
do-
that you don't, but yeah, I get it, man. What's going on?
Well, let's be honest, like, I'm 45 now, will soon be 46, and, I just don't have, I guess I don't have the sexual drive that I once did. And I will say we are sexually active quite often. We make love 2 to 3 times a week, actually.
Wow. Good for
a
you.
lot.
That is a
And I
lot
believe
for
that's more
most
for you.
couples. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead. What did
Yes,
you say
but-
there?
Well, there's just some days where I'm just so darn tired,
Mm-hmm. Yep. I don't know.
And I just wanted to know, is there something wrong with me, or is there
No.
something I should? I want to talk to her about it, but I don't know what to say.
Got it. Well, are you open to being more sexually active? Are you open to getting yourself in the mood? Or is it more just that, you know what? I'm just tired. I want to sleep and I just need to talk to my wife about this. Which one is it?
Yeah, I'm just tired and I want to sleep.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just I'm just, whether it's I want to go to sleep or I just don't have the energy for it as I used to.
I mean, if that's the case, I mean, if you're tired, there's times when I'm tired and Diane will still ride me.
Sometimes.
Sometimes, there's a few times in the middle of the night and I just wake up and all of a sudden I'm like, what the fuck is
You
happening?
seduced me.
No, she says that, but I
Oh,
must
well,
have
that's
been sleep
so
talking.
wonderful.
but it is.
You did. You were saying stuff.
Yeah, well, I don't remember.
You claim not
it.
to remember, though.
I claim not to, but I really don't remember it. But anyway, so I mean, I don't know. I guess it's more of a compromise. You gotta ask yourself, well, what's gonna make my wife happy? What's gonna make me happy? And have a conversation with it and do some type of like negotiating. It's like, look. I mean, there's certain events that happen during the week. Like, I don't know what you do.
You get stressed out, that affects your libido.
Yeah, and I don't know what you do for your job, but if there's certain days you're like, you know what, this is product day. I don't know what the hell product day is, but something like that. And just say, like, I really, my mind's not in the right place. I'm really tired. I can't have sex on Thursdays. Or just have like an open conversation. Just like, baby, I love you so much. You're super hot. I love having sex with you.
Mm-hmm.
But...
Or maybe you can do it more on days you both aren't working, like a Saturday or a Sunday.
Or just, it's like, hey, or like Diane and I today, we're just like, hey, let's, it's hot outside, we're going to lay in bed, let's have a sex day. And we had sex 3 times. So, I mean, maybe that will get it all out of her on one day as opposed to multiple days out of a week. I mean, Diane and I have a lot of sex, but there are times where, you know what, she's not in the mood. There are times when I'm not in the mood. And you just have to, that's just how it is. You know, like, you know what, I respect your decision. I'm horny. I'm going to go in the bathroom. I'm going to masturbate. Is that something that, I guess it's a little more difficult to tell a woman, they're like, you know what, you're horny. Here's a vibrator. I don't think they would go for that. But there are times when I wasn't in the mood and you're like, all right, I'm just going to masturbate. And you pull out a vibrator and like, whoop, that got me horny. And then then we just started going at it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What would you do if I was like, you know what, I'm not horny. You just go masturbate.
Then I would just masturbate.
You would masturbate, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it is something that's like kind of mind-boggling for a guy to...
You know, tell her to put on Superman. Henry Cavill.
Yeah, I was just picture Christopher Reeves. And
no, I meant Henry Cavill.
Sure. Like, if you like the high pants, but...
well, whatever.
It was Superman.
Different strokes for different folks, I suppose.
It is. Right, yeah. So, but if you are into...
Or Spartacus.
Yeah.
Watch that.
Mm-hmm. Or Diane, you get turned on by also females.
Yeah. I don't know how his wife's preference
is. Yeah,
if
she likes, Margot Robbie or Scarlett Johansson. Those are always Diane's go-to when she needs to get aroused. But I mean, has your spouse...
Can't go wrong with Scarlett Johansson.
No, you can't. I feel like the majority of women find her attractive.
Which one?
What?
Which one?
Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, yeah.
So, but I mean, maybe if she could just have some alone time, maybe even like if it's a day that like this is my day that I'm super not in the mood, and then I will go ahead and make up a nice bath for my wife, and I'll have candles.
Oh, that's a wonderful idea.
And I'll have like...
Can I be...
Go ahead.
Oh, yes, go on.
I was going to say, is just like set up all the things that turn her on and make it just, about herself. And maybe if she has a favorite sex toy, put that down. If you haven't experimented with sex toys, I would go ahead and just surprise her and buy her one and just leave it out and have it fully charged. And then she can go ahead and just start using it. Maybe that will help her out.
Oh, I love that idea, because I must say I don't work on Thursdays, and Thursdays I tend to be in the mood, and I'm very much for I'm very excited about having sex with my wife.
Oh, that's great.
But there are some days when I'm working where I just can't. I have to muster the energy, but giving her setting a bath and making something for her, I think she would love that.
Yeah, yeah, that seems like a good option for her. And if she has somebody that she's really fond of and you're okay with that, maybe just put up a little laptop in there with some movie with that individual in it. Or I don't. Is your wife into porn? Do you guys watch porn at all?
Oh yes, yes we do.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, just find out just what her favorite porn is and just do a search on Pornhub and then just play that for her while she's in the bathroom. And then I mean, if it's something that's uncomfortable for you to have that talk, just go ahead and put that out. But I do really have highly suggest actually having a conversation with her about this and just like, look, these days I'm really tired and I just can't perform mentally or emotionally or physically. And so I am perfectly okay with you just having some alone time and just finding what you like. And also, what will happen is she'll find things if she masturbates and pleases herself, she'll know what will make her feel good, and she will then ask you what to do. Like she'll tell you what to do to make her feel good. Does that make sense? I said that very misworded, but I mean,
No, that makes perfect sense.
yeah, like when you explore on your own and you figure out what you like, you can tell your partner what that is, and then they can administer that to you, and or to you can administer that to her, and yeah, you'll have better sex when you do have sex. And it just like seems like toning it down. It's all about communication. Uh, yeah, Wells, do you have any type of tips on your own there? Any advice or?
Well, yeah, this is called sex drive discrepancy, STD,
Oh,
also called sexual interdependence dilemmas. It's something a lot of couples deal with,
yeah, mostly with
especially
like
at most times. But the most important thing in dealing with it is communication about perhaps why you're not feeling sexual, what's going on with you internally, just so that your partner doesn't wonder and think that it's because of them and that they're not desirable. So communication is the biggest key.
it is. Well, hopefully we got a plan for you there, Tyler. We're able to go ahead and push you in the right direction. I think we gave you a lot of good ideas there. Do you feel like you got something in the old wheelhouse for you to go ahead and explore there?
Oh yes, thank you so much. And as you said, communication is key. And I just, if I'm talk about this with my wife, who loves me and is very understanding, and I'm sure we will find a middle ground.
That's great. All right, Tyler, have a good night, and please stay safe, sane, and consensual, and sex positive, and have a good evening, my friend.
Well, thank you all.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So I wanted to address, we have some comments in the chat here. There's a person named Tech Wizard, and he is saying that he doesn't feel that any woman would want to date him, and that he's girl repellent, and it seems like, let's see, he's a virgin, never even been on a date. But Tech Wizard, if you're still watching, I will go ahead and talk to you through. We won't chat here through the actual chat, but we'll talk to you. But so you've never been on a date. You haven't had any females be interested in you. Is that correct? Let's see if he responds there. Wells has been corresponding with Tech Wizard. Yeah. Oh, maybe he got shy that we started talking to him. But Wells, I've never had this problem where a female was more interested in having sex than I was. I mean, there's like we chatted with during the conversation. Diane was. There's been a couple times, but it's not like a consistent thing. Most men, it's vice versa, where the man actually is more interested in having sex than the female. Okay, let's see here. Tech Wizard is saying, yes, well, in fifth grade, he remembers one girl that he had a crush on, and that was in the 5th grade. So,
One girl had a crush on him.
yeah. So have you tried to date online? Have you tried to? I'm assuming that you, Tech Wizard, you do enjoy being online and chatting with people, watching Twitch. There's probably a lot of other platforms that I'm not aware of because even though I look super youthful, I'm not as young as a lot of people who may be watching, so I'm not too versed with the whole electronic world.
He does.
I use online. I love it. You do the internets, the interwebs. So there is a lot of online dating on there and to meet people. And I highly recommend, if that is the platform that you want to use, to get on any type of dating websites. I'm not too sure of it, but Wells will go ahead and help us out with this. There's got to be a dating website for tech computer people like Tech Wizard. Can you find anything for him, Wells? But if you were to get on one of these sites and actually have find other females who are in the same realm as you, who are interested in the same things that you are, maybe you can just start a conversation, and then that's all it is. That's all dating is you start a conversation and then you share like interests. Let's see here. I've been catfished twice. Though one woman stole your social security number and you were stupid.
Oh man,
Well,
that sucks.
that is. Oh, online, and well, yeah, I guess you
Yeah,
should.
don't give out personal
Yeah,
information.
don't put your PII on the internet, but I'm sure
Yeah.
she may have just completely hacked things.
Oh,
But
that's true. Yeah.
yeah. Have you found anything yet, Wells? Or all right, there's probably tons
I
of
don't
forums.
see anything specifically for people who are into computer things, but Zoosk, Zoosk is recommended because it says it's best for those who need help making the first move.
Got it. Have you heard of
Yeah.
Zoosk? Is it Zooks or Zoosk?
S before the K.
Oh, weird. Zoosk. Have you heard of Zoosk Tech Wizard? So he responds, I do have to say that don't sell yourself short, and be yourself. There are people out there who are like you. Sometimes it's difficult to try and find those people. Sometimes it takes a lot more searching, and you'll find somebody, halfway around the world. But I can guarantee you that there are somebody who's interested in somebody who's like you. But I would highly recommend to not seem. Let's see here. He did respond here, but let me finish my thought here. Don't seem desperate, because females can
smell desperation.
Exactly, and so
it's like animals that smell fear in them.
Yeah. So just be calm and normal, and also don't. Women like humor, and but you don't want to mask yourself. You don't want to tell your people that you don't want to fake them out to make them think that you're not the real you. So let's see what he said. The other one took $50 from you for your family and got mad when you found out that she was a catfish. So, all right, it seems like these are actually not women but men that are just taking your money. So I would try to get on to he's a stand-up comedian. Tech Wizard got us.
Nice.
Gee, yeah, you got Tech Wizard, man. Bam. That should be your slogan when you're like, you got Tech Wizard. Well, congratulations, Tech Wizard. You got us. You Tech Wizard us. Wells, we're going to go ahead and end the show because it's about that time. Do you have any final thoughts? We talked about a lot. We went through the whole thing.
I know everyone's tired of being told to vote, but just be sure to vote. Because even if it's the lesser of two evils, the lesser evil, something less evil sounds better right now.
Yeah, it's true. So I completely agree with that. And it sucks to go away from like, well, these are my values. And if this one person doesn't totally hit on all my values, but most my values, you got to think that the other person out there is completely against your most hated values. No, I really have trouble dating. You brought up women like liking humor, so I brought up my job. Well, Tech Wizard, take our first point there, and please, take that to heart. And if you need any other help, please go ahead and email talkingsexlive@gmail.com, or like our feed. Oh, you already did. You followed us on Twitter, Twitch. Thank you. You can also follow us on Twitter, and go to Throwdown Comedy at YouTube and give a like on this video. Also follow us there. And any any podcasts, we are on podcasts. You can like us on there as well. And
Instagram, Throwdown Comedy.
Every social media that we have, go for it. But we're going to end the show so I can stop rambling. Don't seem desperate. Tech Wizard, you got it right on there. I am very desperate for likes and for follows. But, it's just, I feel with all these YouTubes that the kids do, they say that at the end of their videos. So we might as well do it as well. But we're going to end the show. Thank you so much for listening or watching out there. Please stay sex positive and have a good night, everybody.
Night.